Shocking news. Not Peter, not Stefan. His back with evil plans. Salem had always been a town where the past never stayed buried for long. Secrets had a way of clawing their way back to the surface, often at the worst possible moment. And just when everyone believed they had finally identified the true villain behind the recent chaos, the truth shattered everything they thought they knew. It wasn't Peter. It wasn't Stefan. It was him. And his return would change Salem forever. The rain fell steadily outside the Salem Police Department as Rafe Hernandez stood at the window, staring out at the darkened street. The case files on his desk were stacked neatly for the first time in weeks. For once, he felt like he could breathe. "We got him," Rafe said quietly, turning toward Jada Hunter. "Peter's in custody. Stefan's alibi checks out. It's over." Jada nodded, though something in her eyes suggested doubt. "That's what the evidence says." Across town, the news spread quickly. Phones buzzed, texts flew, and Salem exhaled collectively. The nightmare was ending. At the Brady pub, Roman poured a drink for Kate Roberts, who lifted her glass in cautious celebration. "Well," Kate said, arching an eyebrow, "I suppose I should be relieved." "Only suppose?" Roman asked. "In this town, Roman, relief never lasts." Kate's words lingered in the air longer than either of them liked. Meanwhile, at the Diamera mansion, E.J. Diamera stood near the fireplace, swirling a glass of whiskey as Nicole Walker watched him closely. "You seem tense," Nicole said. "Do I?" E.J. replied, his voice calm, too calm. "I was just thinking how easily Salem believes a story when it's wrapped up with a neat little bow." Nicole frowned. "What are you saying?" E.J. didn't answer. Instead, he stared into the fire, a flicker of unease passing through his eyes. Somewhere deep beneath Salem, unseen and unheard, a man smiled. In an abandoned warehouse on the outskirts of town, a single light bulb swung gently from the ceiling. The air smelled of dust, oil, and something far more dangerous, anticipation. A figure stepped into the light. Older, yes. Wiser. Hardened by years of exile and betrayal. But unmistakable. He ran his fingers along a table covered in photographs. Melina Evans. John Black. E.J. Diamera. Stefan Diamera. Even Peter. They all played their parts, he murmured. Some knowingly. Some not. He picked up one photograph in particular, Salem's skyline at night. "They thought I was gone," he continued. "Buried. Forgotten." A dark chuckle escaped his lips. They were wrong. This was no impulsive return. This was a reckoning. And Salem was about to pay the PR. The first crack appeared when Melina began to have dreams. Not nightmares, memories. She woke in the middle of the night, her heart racing, John instantly at her side. "Doc? What is it?" "I don't know," Melina whispered. "I keep hearing a voice. Someone I thought I'd said goodbye to a long time ago." John stiffened. "You think it's Peter?" "No," Melina replied firmly. "This is older. Darker." At University Hospital, Kayla Johnson reviewed lab results that didn't make sense. The toxin found in one of the recent victims wasn't something Peter had access to. Nor Stefan. She picked up the phone and called Steve. "Sweetness," Steve answered, cheerful as ever. "Steve," Kayla said, her voice low. "We've been wrong. About all of it." Silence followed. "Tell me," Steve finally said. Before Kayla could respond, the lights in the lab flickered. Then went out. Salem's peace shattered the next morning. A package arrived at the Diamera mansion, unmarked, heavy, deliberate. E.J. insisted on opening it himself. Inside was a black chess piece. The king. Attached was a note, written in elegant, familiar handwriting. "Checkmate begins today." E.J.'s face drained of color. Nicole watched him closely. "E.J., who sent that?" E.J. swallowed hard. "Someone who should be dead." Across town, similar packages appeared. Melina received a queen. John a knight. Stefan a bishop. Peter, locked away in his cell, found a pawn waiting on his bed. Each piece carried the same message. "The game is mine now." Rafe stood in the middle of the station, holding his own package, a rook. "We didn't catch the mastermind," he said grimly. "We caught the decoys." Jada nodded. "So who's left?" Rafe exhaled slowly. "Someone who knows all of us. Someone who's been watching." The answer came from the last person anyone expected. Peter Blake laughed from inside his cell, the sound echoing through the corridor as Rafe confronted him. "You're enjoying this," Rafe snapped. "Oh, very much," Peter replied. "You see, for once, I wasn't the devil in the room." "Then who was?" Jada demanded. Peter leaned closer to the bars, his eyes gleaming. "You should have checked the graves more carefully." Rafe's blood ran cold. "Who, Peter?" Peter whispered the name, and Salem's world tilted on its axis. The man revealed himself not with violence, but with precision. Salem awoke to find its power grid hacked. Financial systems frozen. Security feeds replaced by a single image. A familiar face, older yet unmistakable, staring directly into the camera. "My dear Salem," he began. "Did you miss me?" Molina felt the words like a physical blow. John grabbed the remote, but it was useless. "This town took everything from me," the man continued. "My legacy. My family. My future." EJ clenched his fists. "No. And now," the figure smiled coldly, "I'm taking it all back." The screen went black. One name echoed through Salem. Fear did what it always did. It forced unlikely alliances. Stefan Diimera arrived at the Brady pub under cover of night, meeting EJ and Gabby in secret. "So it wasn't you," Gabby said, studying him. Stefan shook his head. "I may be ruthless, but this is something else." EJ poured a drink. "He's targeting everyone. Not just the Diimeras." "Because he hates Salem," Stefan replied. "And because he knows how we think." At the same time, Molina and Kayla worked tirelessly, searching for any psychological pattern that could predict his next move. "He wants control," Molina said. "But more than that, recognition." "Then we don't give it to him," Kayla said. Molina shook her head. "He'll force us to." The warning came too late. A fire broke out at a historic Salem building, empty, thankfully, but symbolic. Spray painted across the brick wall were 3 words. "This is mercy." John stared at the scene, his jaw tight. "His escalating." "And his enjoying it," Steve added. In the shadows nearby, the mastermind watched, his expression unreadable. "Phase 1 complete," he murmured. The trap was elegant. A tip led Rafe and Jada to an underground tunnel system beneath Salem, old, forgotten, dangerous. They split up. That was the mistake. Rafe found himself locked inside a steel chamber, the door slamming shut behind him. A speaker crackled to life. "Always the hero," the voice said. "Always rushing in." Rafe clenched his fists. "You don't have to do this." "Oh, I absolutely do." Gas began to seep into the room. Chapter 10. Truth and Consequences. As Salem raced to save Rafe, Molina finally pieced together the truth. "He doesn't just want revenge," she said. "He wants us to suffer the way he did, slowly." They found Rafe just in time. But the message was clear. This wasn't random. This was personal. The final reveal came at the town square, where residents gathered after another mysterious summons. The man stepped forward, no longer hiding. Gasps echoed through the crowd. "It's not Peter," he said calmly. "It's not Stefan." He smiled, eyes dark with purpose. "It's me." And with that, Salem's past, present, and future collided. As the crowd scattered in shock, one thing became painfully clear. Salem was no longer chasing a ghost. They were facing a mastermind who knew every secret, every weakness, every betrayal. And he was just getting started. Because this time,